And here we go. We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be nominal.
RCPA chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, Atlantis.
Water towers, fly! Yes!
Tango down to nominal.
Fighting downside FD off. Bring in FD off. It's orange! 145!
Oh my god! Oh my god!
Decollage.
Look at this!
Put that in the big bag, Eagle.
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together, back to the moon and beyond.
If the methane would be igniting in the flare, correct?
Yikes. You bet. We don't need any more of these.
Yikes, you bet, concur. It's time for another episode of NSF Live. That's right, it's Sunday. It is 3 p.m. Eastern Time. It's crazy, wacky 9 p.m. because time zones in England and Europe and Spain and Germany. But, we're international here, so Alex and Adrian have to deal with it. Of course, it's not just me this week. I'm joined by Alex and Adrian. Adrian, how are you doing? Oh, I always point wrong. Adrian, how are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. Looking forward to talk a lot of Starbase today. And also, yes, time zones are fun because NSF Live is always on 9 p.m. for me, unless there's this one single week where we change the clocks before you do, and it's like everything is moving by 1 hour for 1 week. It's the funniest week in the whole year for me because everything is off
Fun.
for 1
We
week.
love it. And also, of course, we have Alex. Alex, wait. We've got like a big little small thing going on here. Hang on, I gotta like sit up a little bit. Wait, we're doing it live. There we go. Alex, how are you doing?
Well, I'm doing great. Yeah, right now you caught me off guard there because I was like, "What is he doing?" But yeah, I'm doing great, fantastic. 9 p.m. here, but hey, just have a little bit of food here and ready to go with NSF Live.
Cool deal. Well, this week we are doing sort of a Starship roundup as we get ever closer to IFT2, Electric Boogaloo. So if you have any Starship-related questions, now is the time to ask them. Feel free to throw your question in chat. Just type at NASASpaceflight, and your question will pop up in some software that we have. So, yeah, let's just get right into it and start going down the Starship stuff. Starting off with, hey, did you guys know today's the 3-year anniversary of SN6? Isn't that nifty?
I can't believe
3 years.
That's 3
You're
years.
lying.
That's yeah.
Yeah, you're lying.
doesn't feel like
that's
3
not
years.
true.
We've gone
Man.
from this wacky half Starship prototype janky grain silo flying through the air in 3 years to on the cusp of the second full stack flight of Starship. That it simultaneously feels like light speed and it took forever, but that's time for you. But yeah, 3 years. What do you, Adrian, thoughts?
It doesn't feel like 3 years to me. Okay, I want to paraphrase. It simultaneously doesn't feel like 3 years, and then also you think about what happened between SN6 and now, and then you're like, wow, it only has been 3 years because there has been a lot of activity in Boca in the last 3 years. So it feels both crazy in like similar ways in how time works here and how time passes. But yeah, since then we had all the high altitude flights. We have the construction of the orbital launch side. We have the major overhaul of the production side. We had the first flight. We had the test campaign now leading up to the second flight, and I would say that's a pretty good cadence for a rocket in 3 years overall, if you compare it to other rockets.
Yeah, absolutely. Alex, any thoughts here? Oh, look, we're all the same size now. Yay.
Yeah.
We did it.
Now I can poke at you.
No.
'Cause
Ow.
see, now I do recognize where you are and where. Yeah, you always have trouble with that. Anyways, yeah, it's really impressive to me that, as Adrian mentioned, it feels like it cannot be 3 years from SN6, and but also at the same time, there's been so many things going on since then. Like within months of SN6, we had SN8 because December is also going to be 3 years since SN8. It was really really quick. In hindsight, if you look back, it's like, yeah, in 3 months we got from just that silo thing and then all the way up and the belly flap and the flip and everything, which now it's like, okay, well, that happened 5 times. They actually landed on the last time, and now we see full stacks. Back then they didn't even have a booster. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's pretty wild. I mean, I had to like double, triple, quadruple check my dates because I was like, what? Really? It was 3 years ago? But wasn't SN8 also in 2020? But yeah, that's how everything
Yep.
sort of worked out. Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
I figured we'd just start off. Go ahead.
We had this bundle of huge activity and huge test flights, and then there was this big lull where suddenly it was all infrastructure work. It was all getting things built. I remember that. So it was really everything just happened at once and then stopped. So
I
yeah,
do
that
remember,
was a
Adrian.
bit
That was
crazy.
actually. I do remember that was actually when I first met you, on the NSF Discord and everything, and you were counting the cars going out and coming back for SM5 when it was going to hop and everything, and they were testing these old vehicles, and yeah, how things actually change over time.
Yeah, it's kind of wild. Oh, look, it's a booster in port. Is that coming in right now?
ASOC, for example, was not even there either. It was not a thing in 2020. That's a shortfall
Good
of
deal.
gravitas. I
Well,
think
no
it is a
shortage of
shortfall
stuff.
gravitas.
No shortage of stuff happening. I figured that would be a good way to start off the stream, is just remember where we were 3 years ago, and you can kind of extrapolate. 3 years from now, where are we going to be? Like, Starship's definitely launching payloads. It's definitely launching more often. Do we think in 3 years Starship will be launching from Florida? I say yes.
I
Adrian,
say
go.
yes. Yeah, I feel like
Alex,
if you would have asked like I mean, I think we are all probably very clear on no for 1 year, right? So, will it launch from Florida in 1 year? No. Will it launch in 2 years? Maybe. I feel like that's
maybe.
that feels for me like that's the debate point. 2 years feels for me like if you ask around like, hey, will it launch from Florida in 2 years? That's the point where you get a lot of different answers. And 3 years,
Yeah.
3 years just feels for me like a yes, probably yes.
Alex, what do you think? I'm adding questions
Yeah,
to the queue, by the way. That's why I'm looking over here, because we have so many questions coming in about Starship, so we're going to get to that here in a second. But first, Alex, go.
Yeah, this is actually more Starship stuff, and actually really with Starbase, that we've seen them installing like new subcoolers and things like that here at Starbase, probably for Flight 3 or 4. Like they are already preparing to expand all of the commodities here at Starbase for future flights. Where did it all come from? You can see there the subcoolers on both the liquid oxygen side and the methane side. They have been expanded. They have 2 extra subcoolers on the methane side and 4 subcoolers extra on the liquid oxygen side. It is not that suddenly they installed more. They actually had plans for that since the beginning, but they only installed like half of all the subcoolers because that's all they needed for the initial launch capability. Um, but in the future they will want to increase, actually the other way around, decrease the loading times of propellant, so we will probably see propellant load of 45 minutes since the start to launch or something like that, pretty much like Falcon 9. But the whole deal here is that where does it come from, right? And some of it, they had some of these subcoolers stored already at the Sanchez side at Starbase, but
Yeah,
some
there's
of
been at
these
least
might have
2
come.
sitting around for a while now.
Yeah, and some of these might have actually come from 39A, because we have seen from when they did the Crew 7 launch, they had this
Yep.
feed going from the Kennedy Space Center, and right when they were going with that feed live, there was like one of the cranes there taking off one of the subcoolers from 39A and basically like putting it off and transporting it off. So it's like, what are they doing to my 39A? Right? Because it's like yeah, it's probably not gonna be coming soon, but I do really hope that at any point in like the next year or so, they come back, they put all the work in there and try to finish it and everything, and we'll see what happens. That's my long-winded question, but it's also related with current events at Starbase.
Good deal. And yeah, right off the bat, we have a question from Sideshow Bob. It's, of course, Simpsons reference. Saying, with the addition of more subcoolers, will it decrease fueling time? Yeah, that's what Alex just said. It will significantly
Also
decrease the amount of
pumps.
time Yeah, the new pumps. Although those darn pumps, they replace those things like people eat chewing gum. It's like, oh, this one's done, next one. But yeah, we should see once those come online. Which Adrian has a point. Adrian, make your point.
I still think, okay, I think it will decrease fueling time, but here's my, just be careful. However, it could also be to reduce wear and tear on the existing hardware to not stretch it all the way to full 100% capabilities. I don't want to like rain on somebody's parade here, and I'm still in the team. It will decrease. It's the likely outcome. I just want to point out it's not 100% until we see actually decreasing loading times, because it could also be so they don't have to, for example, replace pumps every 4 months or so.
Right.
Just saying.
I think they already have
love-
it down. Go ahead and check.
I would just love to talk to whoever's in charge of the orbital tank farm and just pick their brain for a little bit and just be like, so, tell me about the pumps. How many impellers have you shredded? Or like, what's the deal? Why do you keep replacing them? But like you said, Alex, hopefully they seem to have gotten that sorted out, right?
Yeah, because initially I feel like at least the frequency of changes has decreased over time. Like it, at least now it's more like every 6 months or something like that. They changed maybe one, but previously it was like they were changing 3 in a week. It was crazy, right? So right now it seems like at least they have it nailed down that bit, and maybe with these new additions they will be able to better all of the performance on the tank farm. The other thing that I will say though is that the propellant load being shorter, it also means that the propellants are not going to get heated up as much. So hopefully that means the current super heavy will turn more of the ideal situation where you have 150 tons to low Earth orbit. I do not believe the current Starship has that capability, but with colder temperatures on the propellants means they can load more because it becomes denser basically, so they can load more in less time, less boil off, whatever you want to say, right? All of the things, and so that increases performance, and that was very important for Falcon 9 because it increased performance on Falcon 9 by 30%. It's a lot of gain when you pack a lot more propellants, and even now for Falcon 9 Starlink missions they do that as well, and they can gain 10% more performance. So look, it's gonna get better. Don't fret. It's we saw the first launch. The second launch is coming up just soon, and once they get these things hooked up, then we'll go right into the great flights of many tons and many things launched into orbit.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's been 65 days since. No, it wouldn't be 65. It would be 65 days since the 18th. So it's been what, 63 days since the IFT1, which is not that long. Is that wrong? Wait, I have a countdown thing. It's a different rocket.
I have
I'm
a
wrong.
spreadsheet.
It's a different rocket. It's 90 something, isn't it? What? How many days, Alex? Be smart, because I'm dumb.
May, June, August. There's the July between that.
Tell
Well, it
you
should
right
be
now,
around 5 months now. 4.5.
Look, I'm a filmmaker. I'm not a mathematician.
I'm gonna say out of my head here
136 days.
So far off.
136
Okay, so
days.
I had
Yeah,
a different launch queued up in my way off. Anyways, I'm a big dumb idiot. Let's move on. Here, I'm going to run through some support because we are getting a lot, and I want to thank everyone. I know 62 days is 2 months, Ryan. I'm dumb. I started coffee load late. Okay, it's a late load. It's a late
You
load
need to
caffeine
get
over
more
here.
subcoolers and more pumps, Jack.
No, not more subcoolers, because they would make the coffee cooler. We want hotter coffee, not cooler.
I mean, I am
Hey.
an iced coffee guy. So, but yeah, let's run
See?
through some support here, and then let's give everyone a sort of state of play of where everything stands for launch, and then let's get into some viewer questions. And chat is just roasting me, as they should. Jeff Rowe, thanks for gifting a Red Team membership. Michael, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Jim Cavett, gifting 5. Thank you so much. Dustin, gifting a Red Team membership. Wow, we got a lot of gifted memberships. To Infinity and Beyond, 79. Thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Chris W. gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Y'all, if you got a membership just now from any of these people, be sure to thank them. Michael gifting 1, Joey gifting 1, Max. Oh no, Max E did
If
not
you
gift 1.
didn't, you should interact in chat and get one, because with all of these coming in, if you interact a lot in chat, you should get it.
Yeah, that's sort of how it's based, right? Is if you are an active member of chat, you are in the queue to get a gifted membership. But if you don't know about the membership program, it rules. There's all kinds of cool perks that are a part of it. You get behind the scenes stuff. You get photos and videos from in the field from folks out here in Starbase or at the Cape or wherever we may be. All kinds of cool perks. You get Discord access at Capcom level and above. And just always got to say it, the membership program, thank you to all of our members, and thank you for the people gifting it, because it's just absolutely key to helping us do what we do, and even more so helping us grow, because there's so many things that we could do. We have lots of ideas. I'll put it that way. We have lots of ideas.
One thing.
We don't necessarily. I'm talking here, buddy.
Okay.
We have lots of ideas, and we're not always able to pull that stuff off, just because. You know what? I'll say it. Cameras are expensive. But yeah, go ahead, Alex. You can make your point now.
Speaking of cameras, because we already shown that a lot of times in recent times, we also have multi-views. So, for testing and things like that. That, I think, is open for all members.
Yeah, the members multi-view is awesome whenever we put those up, because you are able to you're able to see all the angles at once. So if you're like, I need to see everything at once, I don't want to just see whatever camera they're showing on stream at the moment, the members multi-view is great for that. But I bring that up because we do have a question here. Let me see if I can find it. Where did it go? I added so many questions to the queue that here we go. Dylan is asking, are the Raptor side chats recorded? Yes, at least most of the time. And yeah, those go up for members also. So if you don't have time to tune into a Raptor side chat when it's happening, and you are too late to go back in the stream and watch it, that's also another member's perk. But anyways, thanks to everyone for gifting memberships. Musical Wolves, thanks for the super chat, asking any updates on the new FTS. Nope. I mean, we do have some FTS talk to get into, but I wouldn't call it necessarily an update. We'll get into that here in a minute. Mike Micro, thank you for the super chat there. Very generous of you. James Davis says, it's SN6's anniversary. It's my anniversary of knowing NSF. Happy 3 years. Thank you, JC Davis. Micro again asking, I'm traveling from Italy on Monday towards Reno Air Race. I decided to land in Austin and come see Starbase. Any valid suggestion or something to avoid? I would just say drive safe. It's very easy to be like looking at the tank farm, or looking at the rocket, or looking at the production site as you're driving. This is me miming driving, by the way. And you just want to be aware of the traffic situation. There's a lot of people driving fast, coming off the beach or what have you. Stay on the other side of the road as the various facilities. So when you're at the production site, stay across don't attempt to walk right up to do go to the rocket garden. Rocket garden is awesome. But yeah, Adrian, did you have a tip you wanted to provide Micro here? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name.
Oh, Thanks for that timing, by the way. No, I get fresh refreshments in Brownsville because there's no. I'm just speaking L2 order, by the way. Get refreshments there, and also, again, just repeat what Jack said. Please stay on the right side of the road. This is an enormous cool thing that we can get this close to a rocket side. So making sure that you not stop SpaceX doing its job and working on this rocket is the one thing you want to make sure to do. Don't interrupt.
This one's like really minor, but if you've ever been anywhere where it's really windy, practice like airlock rules with your car doors. Like only open one door at a time, because if you open multiple doors, you might find a lot of things blown out of your car. And another little piece of advice we usually give is make sure you use the restroom in Brownsville because there are none on site. Although, here we go, we're going to do this live. Kevin, can you go to Dune, please, and pan slightly right? Because we have some breaking news. Pan right.
I don't even know it.
I'm doing this live. I'm just being a goofball here.
You should know it, Adrian. I do know it.
That's tilting. Up. There we go. Can you zoom in there on that
stuff?
Can you zoom in on that sign there? It's just past the sign. It's porta potties. They put 3 porta potties there on the side of the road. So
are they public porta potties or are they like SpaceX porta potties?
I mean, gray area. I'm sure if you really had to go, you could use them. But anyways, that's enough porta potties. Thank you, Kevin. But yeah, so do use the restroom in Brownsville. But now the late breaking development is they have finally, after many years, put porta potties by the side of the road there. So anyways, that's now a thing. But thank you, Mikro, for the support, and I apologize if I'm butchering your name.
Yeah. It's nice that at least you have a Starhopper next to it.
Well, it's foreshortening of the lens. It's actually after the production. After the it's like more like near the beach than in anything else.
Yeah, in this view, you can see like both things.
Anyways, that's that.
I have 2 thoughts about
Some people saying in chat that's their methane recollection.
I have 2 thoughts about these. This is probably the coolest spot ever to have porta potties. Like I think this is peak. Like if you're a porta potty in your next life, that would be the place to be. Second, I hope they remove these before the next launch attempt.
Oh, they absolutely will. Absolutely. And I should be clear, I don't know that these are actually like meant to be for people to use, but they are there. I have walked on the road right there. That is not part of the road where you need to be on the other side to be out of SpaceX's way. So that's a thing. I feel like we should cut away in case anyone needs to use them. There we go. Daniel Hogben, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Ewan, thank you for upgrading to Capcom. Once again, you get Discord access at Capcom, so pop into Discord and say hey. Max, I see your super chat, and I'm saving it. Hector, thanks for becoming a Padrat member. Brian, gifting 5 Red Team memberships, thank you so much. Bideford, thank you so much. Sawyer's in chat, so sending him some pun tokens. Thank you so much, Bideford. Always lovely to see your name pop up, and always so much support from you. Thank you. And Fran becoming a Padrat member. Good deal. Okay, let's do. And Max, I haven't forgotten about you. We're gonna do this. I'll do a poll even, but we'll get to that here in a minute. Y'all watching this are just gonna have to wait for whatever this poll is gonna be. It's called foreshadowing or suspense or something. I don't know. Did I say it was
Max,
a filmmaker?
so you know it's bad.
Yeah, right. It's a bad take. Anyways, let's do a state of play. Who wants to take it? Adrian, Alex? Like, where is everything? Adrian wants it. Where is everything in Starbase right now? What is the playing field look like? We're getting closer and closer to launch. What needs to happen? You know, all that whole thing. Give us a rundown, good buddy.
I will try to keep this short, but I cannot promise it will be that short because we have a lot of things happening. Let's start with Booster 9 here. Booster 9, as you know, performed a static fire. It looks that at this point wraps up the campaign. So from here on out, we are just waiting for it to get its upper part, which will be the ship 25 upper stage. And there you can see the static fire performed. So everything on the booster side seems to be kind of like done tested. It seems like they have wrapped up the individual campaign of Booster 9, which is a very good sign. And also they did it in 20 tests less, if I recall correctly, than they did it with Booster 7. Just as a fun fact. And then we have ship 25, if we want to talk about the upper stage of the full stack coming. Ship 25, of course, completed its static fire campaign months ago. It's already tested. Everything looks good. They worked on TPS because what they did as one of the last steps now is the removal of the crane lifting points at the top. And once you remove them, that leaves gaps. And these gaps need to be filled with TPS tiles. So that's what they did. They also added the fancy decals that they had on ship 24 as well. That say now ship 25, which they now have on that as well. I want to point out, by the way, that one of them feels like upside down to me compared to ship 24. That has been bugging me for the last few days. But yeah, in overall testing, both individual stages have completed individual test campaigns. The next thing we await, and we hope it might be early next week, we'll see. But it seems to be very close. The next thing we would see is ship 25 being moved to the orbital launch site, being put between the chopsticks lifting it on top of Booster 9, and with that, we then will have a full stack being ready for launch. Of course, then comes potentially a wet dress rehearsal, potentially a pressure test, whatever. Something maybe to finally validate structural integrity of these two vehicles. But once that is done, we are really close. They could be 1 or even 0 tests away at this point from the potential readiness of this vehicle. And on the regulatory side, of course, we still need the FAA to wrap up the anomaly investigation into the first flight. Once that has been done, though, yeah, then we are good to go. I would even go as far as saying, like if you right now would tell somebody, hey, it's gonna launch in September, that doesn't sound too crazy to me. I would call that pretty realistic.
Completely plausible. Yeah, I would be kind of shocked if it doesn't go in September, but also if it goes in like the last week of September or the first week of October. It's all kind of, I mean, we're close. We're getting real close. That's kind of the point, right? I see some people in chat telling me to let our foreign friends know that when you do go to Starbase, do bring your passport, because there is a border patrol checkpoint. You don't have to stop or slow down or anything as you're heading out to Starbase, but when you're coming back, you are going to go through a border patrol checkpoint, and their question is always, are you U.S. citizens? I obviously am, so I've never answered no to that. But Adrian, you can speak to that. How does that go as a foreigner?
Usually, it's like it's not a big deal. If you visit Starbase, you just answer the question. Sometimes they have like 1 or 2 more questions. Like they will ask, "Hey, where are you from?" Then, of course, then I say Germany, and then everything is good. Sometimes they want to see like some other paperwork. I had one case where they wanted to see my other paperwork that I got into the country. But besides that, it's not really a big deal. Just have your passport ready, always. And also, I want to point out, it's a small little thing. If you're from me, from more the non-direct sun angles of the world, don't underestimate even cloudy days in Texas. It can get pretty sunburny, especially if you're a person like me with like blondish hair. You can get burned pretty quickly in Texas.
Yeah, very true. But yeah, thank you for Musical Wolves for reminding me to mention that. Oh, also, while we're talking about the checkpoint, if you are at Starbase and you are ready to leave, and it's like around 5 or 6 p.m., maybe just like hang out and like enjoy the beach for another 30 minutes or an hour or something, because typically whenever there's a shift change, there can be a pretty long traffic jam at that border patrol checkpoint. So a lot of times if I'm out there and it's like 5 p.m., I'll be like, I'll shoot some photos for a little bit longer and let that traffic jam dissipate. But anyways, we're getting into the weeds here a little bit. let's see here. All right, Max. This is the question from Max here, our very own Max Evans. Max is asking, Hopper or Hoppy? Fight. I don't think. I mean, Hopper is more acceptable to me personally than Hoppy, but it's Starhopper. I
You
mean,
two
show
can
it some
fight.
dignity.
Yeah.
Do we
I'm
go
Team Star-
in
I-
argument
fighting.
mode?
I think Hopper is
I don't
cooler
want to
than
deal
Starhopper.
with you fighting about this. Oh,
Alright.
come on. No, not between us. Really?
No, I'm Team Hopper. I'm Team Hopper. I don't like Hoppy. I like Hopper more than Starhopper because at this point I have developed a certain dislike for the word star in front of things. I want less
Like a star case?
Yeah, like a star. Stay tuned for that on Starbase update
Yeah,
on Monday.
I think that was a spoiler for tomorrow, right? Okay.
Yeah, it's the spoiler. But like in general, I feel like the word star gets used a lot if you're touching Starship, and SpaceX in general. So I feel like one less star is good. So I am Hopper,
Yeah,
not
see?
Starhopper.
See, for the tiles, for example, they call them star bricks. So
Yeah.
probably we should use that as well, right?
No.
Oh god, I
that's the
messed up the
problem.
poll. I typed apostrophe and it's, so it's what is it is name. I really need to drink more coffee before this. Anyways, there's a poll in chat now. Go for it, chat. Do your worst. I mean, to me, it's Starhopper. Any other name is not correct. I mean, Hopper is okay. Hoppy is just, it's too informal. Like, I get wanting to give it like a cute nickname. Well, it's Hoppy, but no, it's Starhopper. Show it some dignity. Show it some respect. Anyways, moving right along. Thank you, Max, for the derail there.
At least it was
Ryan
not
in
about
our
the stubby nozzle.
right, well, stubby nozzle bad. We all know that. Ryan in our back channel is
You
saying they are
yesterday.
all correct, and that is demonstrably false. Let's move right along. All right, so let's talk about Starship. Right off the bat, we have Top Tier asking, when do we think Ship 25 will be rolled to the pad? Sometime this week? Question mark. Alex, go first.
Well, we were asked about this on Friday on the Raptor side, and I said Tuesday because I thought, okay, whatever. I'm gonna say whatever day, but it might actually be Tuesday because tomorrow. Is it tomorrow or today when it's the holiday there? See, I don't do US
Tomorrow.
holidays for obvious reasons. So yeah, so well, tomorrow is the holiday, so I was like, yeah, for Tuesday then. And then yeah, maybe Tuesday. No earlier than Tuesday at least.
Adrian?
Yeah, I'm not gonna say a single day because I feel like that's just. It could be. I'm gonna say before Wednesday. Including Wednesday. I think it will be in the first half of this week. That we will see a rollout, and I think they will go for a stack pretty shortly after. I don't think we will finish this week without a full stack. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I mean, there's no more static fires to be done on Ship 25. They can't lift 25 onto the suborbital pads even because, like Adrian was just mentioning a minute ago, they've removed the crane lifting points from 25. So literally the only thing they can lift it now is with either an SPMT, a couple inches off the ground so they can roll it, or with the chopsticks. Yes, Kevin, 25 is in the rocket garden.
Yes,
It's
the one on the left on that view on the right.
Alex, since you're
Of the
feeling so
three.
talkative today, we have the next question for you. Have you picked out a good barber yet?
Oh, you mean for the shave, right? For this shave, not the other one. Yeah, should we
safe?
explain it or all of the how many people are watching? 3,000 people. I feel like that probably needs explainer, right? So I made a bet after the first flight that they will not fly again until at least after the end of the summer. And the end of the summer is officially September 23rd. I think it's like 6 something UTC. I don't really remember the minutes or something like that. But I have a countdown in my watch and on my phone that counts down to that date, and it is less than 20 days. So I'll say that even if I lose my hair, it's gonna be very, very close. So I was not that off. That's like the
Yeah,
Burger tweet saying, I have a source saying that SLS will launch in 2023 or something. And then it launched almost in 2023. So he was not that off.
yeah, but the thing is, you would still lose. Like, if it still launches before the
Okay.
end of the summer, it would be like, yes, you can claim you were very close. I give you that. But the bet still says you need to shave your hair. Like, you morally win the bet. I give you that. But you also lose. So,
Okay, I'll give you that. But also, now I will have the opportunity to actually ask about minicaps for our store.
we
And
do
you're
need
one of them
some.
in charge.
I am
Yeah,
Beanie Gang, so yeah.
Yeah, you need them. I don't, but I will probably need them. So, yeah.
Good deal. All right, moving right along. Let's see here. Thomas Hayden, good old Thomas, is asking when launch. I mean, we already kind of covered that. We sort of are all thinking September is reasonable to target. I think no later than end of October, right?
I would even go as far, like, unless something majorly breaks now, I think we are I would be surprised if we reach mid-October without a launch. I
think
I think
the
that's
big
a
unknown at this
very
point
pessimistic read.
is regulatory, right?
Yeah.
When will the FAA wrap up the mishap investigation into IFT-1, and when will they issue a launch license for Flight 2? I don't think either of those things are being like held up, like, oh, the FAA, brr. Like, no, I'm not. I just think, these sorts of things take time, and all SpaceX has been doing for the past however long since the previous flight is demonstrating in a variety of ways that they have mitigated any issues and rebuilding everything to a point where they can go to the FAA and say, launch license, please, and then just get it from them. Because if you remember, it was the same sort of deal with the previous flight where we didn't really have any visibility into that process, and sort of right before launch, it was like days before launch, they got the license, right?
Yeah, it was. I think it was.
Yeah.
3
days before.
Yeah, 3 days before the first attempt, right?
Yeah, because it was
Yeah,
Friday the 14th, and then they
Yes.
did the first attempt on the 17th. I will say, though, as long as it is 19 days, 11 hours, 10 minutes, and 7 seconds from now, I'll be okay with that. Anything beyond that, I'm okay with it.
Got it.
I have the countdown. I'm not joking.
All right. KB, thanks for becoming a Red Team member. Neptune becoming a Pad Rat member. RC Horseman gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Thank you so much. Rankley, thanks for the $5 tip. If you want to, you can, instead of doing a super chat, head on over to, tips.nasaspaceflight.com. And you can support us that way. However you want to support us. We got all kinds of ways. But you still get to have your name in a comment should you be so inclined. So they're saying OLM is looking quite magnificent. Thanks for the great content as usual. Yeah, the OLM, man, you compare it to how it looked like at the beginning of the year or a year, it's just like, it's insane. It looks so much more functional and robust and better now. Shadow Gunner 66, thanks for the support. They say stubby because it gives it a cool down the throat shot of the booster that the full nozzle blocks. All right, I mean, you do you. And Juan Fernando, thank you for becoming a Capcom member. Once again, you get Discord access. So pop into Discord and say hey. All right, let's do some more Starship questions. We have this one from some guy named Max E, who has bad takes about stubby nozzles. Yeah, they're asking, how far do we think Booster 9 and Ship 25 will make it into flight? Just because I want to...
That's a relevant one.
Just because I want to see it... just because I want to see it happen, just because I'm a jerk, I'm going to say Rudd at stage SEP. Like, that's my prediction. I don't actually think that's going to happen. I'm more like wanting that to happen. I would rather have a complete success, but like from a photography standpoint, to paraphrase the Mythbusters, Jamie want big boom. Adrian, how far do you think they'll get?
This might be very specific, and I'm sorry for that. I think the booster will rot at stage separation. However, the ship will carry all the way up until re-entry and burn up on re-entry.
All right, Alex.
I will say for the photography thing, if you're able to capture something that far out in such a great detail and that is not like some small fireball in the sky, I will give you that one, and we'll probably I'll probably buy it for my room. I wish it went all the way to Hawaii, but wishes and actual reality does not match. Otherwise, I will be in a very much better position. Let's be honest. So I will say I think it will at least not wreck the launch pad. Like it will go out,
Yep.
clear the pad, and this time not create a crater underneath the OLM.
All right, that takes us to our next question here. Beep beep beep. Again, we have so many good questions from y'all, and keep them coming. I'm like getting lost in them. I'm like drowning in questions. Where did it go? Where did it go? Stalling for time. Yada yada. Somebody was asking how we think. Here we go. Kane L is asking what are your thoughts on how the pad will fare after IFT2? It sure seems like it'll do better. Just seeing a static fire with the deluge system, it's like much quieter. It's noticeably quieter. But it's really hard to say when they throttle those engines up to 90% or whatever as they lift the stack off the pad. How is that whole system going to fare? It's like the age-old tale of water versus fire. But Alex, how do you think the pad? I mean, you just said you don't think the pad's going to get nuked.
I think this time at least it will not get nuked. It will probably have some minor damage. It will be very weird if it didn't, because it's like the most powerful rocket in the world ever created. It's not like it is the most powerful in the world like right now, and there was like some other rocket in the past. No. This is like ever, right? So it's like if it doesn't have even a little bit of damage, I will be freaked out because it will be like, has a SpaceX made out of titanium or something like that, right? It will be very, very weird, right? But yeah, if I think it will be able to clear it. I do not want to have the sensation that it'll go better than the first flight. After that, the reason for that is that when there were the hops, SN8 went up and it blew our minds. It also blew on the pad, but it did so after doing all of the stuff almost till the end, right? And we all thought, oh, they're gonna nail it. Next launch is gonna be super fine and everything. Sure, SN9 went up, then went down to the belly flop, but it didn't even nail the flip, right? Because one of the engines didn't light up. It was like a super letdown to me, at least. It was like, oh, really? It only did this? So I don't want this to be the SN9 of the full stack flights. So
Fair.
I
Yeah,
don't
that's fair.
really want to think it's gonna go. Oh, it's gonna be perfect or something.
Adrian, go.
I thought I had an answer, but so the problem is always with this, it looks good until it doesn't, right? So we had the same situation with the first flight where it looked good, and I bet you we find shows of NSF Live and shows about us here talking before the first launch and be like, no, it looked fine doing the first static fire, so it will probably be fine during launch. And I bet you we find quotes about that. The problem is always what happens if it cracks at 100% or like 90% thrust. Because this system is not like, it doesn't gradually damage the pad. Once it breaks, once it cracks, once you have like damage starting, that's the moment where all hell breaks loose. So I don't think they will nail it. That's maybe trying to set my expectations a bit lower and then be surprised. But I think there will be at least some significant damage to the infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, and it's not necessarily unexpected. And part of what they're doing with this system, in addition to learning how to build it, learning how to build a lot of them, and learning how to test them. I mean, we've kind of gotten through the learning how to test part. We are at the part where it's learning exactly what they need to do vehicle side to get to staging. At the point where they start to be able to re-enter, they'll be learning what they need to do tile wise to get that system all nailed down. And likewise with the launch pad, they're learning exactly what they need to do to protect the pad. And a lot of this is sort of minimum viable product that they are building as fast as they can, getting it out the door, getting a launch done, seeing what happened, and then rebuilding and fixing any issues. And then that's the SpaceX way. You build, you test, you fly, you evaluate, and then you build again. And you just keep doing that. The snowball rolls downhill and gets bigger and bigger, and everybody's happy. So will the deluge work? If only a certain 3-letter YouTube channel was working on a deluge video. So yeah, maybe stay tuned if you haven't hit the bell or done the YouTube things or the subscribe and all that stuff. There may or may not
working on it anymore.
A deluge video coming down the line here shortly.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about that in more detail. But good question there from Kane. Bideford, again, gifting 5 Red Team memberships. Bideford, you're the best. Greg Dietz, thank you for the support. They say, did SpaceX need to replace the Fondag near the OLM after the second static fire? I am unclear on that. Does anyone have any more there?
I think
because they were
basically everything.
Go ahead.
I think so, right? At least partially. I mean, basically everything that was close to the OLM needed at least partial replacement.
No, not after IFT. After the second static fire, because after B9's first static fire, they were what is it, like jackhammering the concrete around a couple of the legs on the edge of the deluge plate. So presumably they did some work there to either add more concrete or replace some concrete or Fondag or whatever it was. Sort of hard to tell exactly what.
At least after each of the static fires, they have gone and like dig into a little bit of that Fondag and resurface it a bit. But it seemed to be just not a lot of work. We didn't see like a major overhaul or like hundreds of trucks coming in with a Fondag or whatever, right? It seemed to be more like small stuff going on there. I do think that maybe in the future we'll remove the Fondag and just expand the plate. Maybe not with holes on the outside, because it's probably gonna be far enough to not need any water cooling. But I do think that maybe in the future there will be like, okay, let's be done with the concrete and put like more protection with steel on the outside so that it doesn't crack or anything like it. But we'll see.
Good deal. Philip, thank you for the support. They say, given the new-ish GSC hardware, is it possible we see more testing to validate that before launch? So I think once we get a full stack, it's what are we paying? Oh, we're paying towards the new GSC hardware, huh? Nice. I was like, don't tell me we're going to look at porta potties again.
It's GSC.
even though it was my fault in the first place. Yeah, I mean, I could see them doing a full stack propellant loading test or a full stack cryo test or a WDR, like any number or variety of those sorts of tests before launch. But I don't think any of the hardware that they have recently had brought to the orbital tank farm is necessarily going to be ready for all of that, because a lot of it still needs to be plumbed. So I think that's probably more of an IFT3 thing. But yeah, I mean, if you remember earlier when we were sort of going over the state of play, Adrian mentioned we could be between 1 and 0 tests ahead of launch. And if they do some tests, it's going to be, you know, a wet dress rehearsal or a full cryo or something along those lines, because you got to imagine they want to test the weight of the ship on top of the inner stage. Seems like a smart idea. But they could also just skip it and yeet this thing into space or the Gulf of Mexico as circumstances permit. Olivia, thank you for grabbing some stuff from the store. I get to slap Adrian in the face with a merch pie right now. Here we go. Bam! Will we see reentry of booster from Starbase in case it survives stage SEP? That's an Alex question. I
Is it really?
remember we were sure.
Yeah. No, go ahead,
Go.
go ahead, because you're gonna say the same thing that I was gonna say.
I remember DOS was on the
Probably.
lookout for it for IFT1 from the top of the hotel. So it's possible, put it that way.
Yeah, with using Flight Club and things like that, and seeing if it matches. I don't really know because I haven't even been on that hotel, so I don't even know like all the, which direction to look at and all that. So I wouldn't be able to tell.
I love making Adrian like crouch over. Adrian, yell sanctuary a bunch of times. Have you seen Hunchback of Notre Dame? Anyways, you probably haven't. No, you haven't.
I have not.
I can tell by the look on your
course I
face. I can tell by the look on your
Yeah.
face. It would
It's
not be an
Adrian, man.
NSF stream.
Why do you ask?
It would not be an
Like,
NSF
the
stream unless
answer-
I was shaming Adrian about not having seen a movie. Go ahead. What's your point? Go ahead, Adrian.
Chris B recently wrote with me about a movie. I want to point that out. Chris B will be my witness. I wrote with Chris B about a movie that he was watching that I also watched. That happened.
Okay, was it Lord of the Rings, Star Wars, or like I don't know, what else do you watch?
Hobbit.
Yeah,
or
because if it's
something.
it was the D&D movie.
If it's okay,
Oh,
fair,
D&D.
fair. I should have got that one. We really need to do an NSF D&D campaign. Jim Cavett, thank you for the support. They say thanks to the NSF crew, great work. And Musical Wolves, thank you so much. They say if scrub, can their water be refilled in time for an attempt the next day? Maybe not the next day, but the day after, like sort of like how they attempted on the 18th and then attempted on the 20th. But it's not just water; it's also propellants. Adrian, go. He put his hand up first, Alex, in your face.
No,
it
yeah,
was-
you
but-
got it.
Yeah, basically, I don't think water is the critical item. That's my overall take on this. Yes, water needs to be replenished, but if we get all the way through a countdown where you would activate the water deluge system, that also means you have a fully loaded booster and ship at that point. So that means we are probably talking again about the 2-3 day recycle area that we had for the first Starship flight, and I do not think they would need to replenish the water that quickly, because that's fairly trivial in comparison to getting all the methane and all the nitrogen and all the oxygen, because the water they can just get from a place near Brownsville. That's doable. The problem is really more the other commodities.
Yeah, I mean, either way, in the event of a scrub, there is going to be a lot of tanker trucks of a variety of commodities that need to be brought down to Starbase. And when we've seen this before, where they do a test and then immediately there's an entirely like massive train of tanker trucks just waiting at the suborbital side of the launch pad for spots on the methane farm, like on the methane offload area or the orbital tank farm to be able to offload all their stuff. So,
I mean, we saw it.
I'm going to be a jerk here. JC Davis says, I want to get a metal print from Integrated Flight Test 1. Recommendations? Yes, buy mine. I mean, I'm sorry, but yeah, no, get mine. It's good. Anyways, moving right along. For real, though, we do have a variety of cool metal prints from IFT1. From a variety of photographers, not just me. So if you don't like mine, you can get a different one. But rest assured, we will have some awesome ones coming up for IFT2, fog and weather permitting. Which brings me to the next question here from our viewers. Again, keep them questions coming. We got some really good ones. Need Pizza. What's up, Pizza?
Ooh, I like that.
I know, right? They say, what was the worst Starship launch and why was it SN11? Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
Moving right along. Dr. M is asking, will Danger Van return? Stay tuned. Cody Coy is asking, what's the chance that we'll see a second orbital launch mount being carted to Starbase in the coming year? Oh yeah, and there's the van merch. There's also van merch for 2023. Or never forget.
basically, at some point, SpaceX had plans to construct a second pad at the Boca Chica site. However, we know from other documentation that they have kind of stopped the permission process of that. So it seems like they're not really like pushing for it at this point, which I guess is understandable. It doesn't feel like it's the main limiting factor right now. And also, it's a lot of work. Like, we saw how much work it is to construct a launch pad for this, and also the tower infrastructure and everything related to that. So, yeah, there was some plans. We saw some renders. At the moment, it's kind of like the K plans. I feel it's on pause. So, yeah.
Yep, I would agree with that. Alex, do you want to fight Adrian about it?
Boy.
No? Okay, moving on.
I just blanked on that because I have my thoughts, but yeah, it caught me off
that's why I
guard.
said moving on.
You need to tell
That's why
me
I said
when
moving
we're
on.
in fight mode.
Well,
Yeah.
I did. I tried, but you blanked.
We need like this bell sound. Like every time Kevin forces
Yeah.
us into fight
Ding
mode,
ding ding.
there needs to be like a bell, like this boxer bell sound.
We also need the
Exactly.
extremely loud,
Otherwise-
inappropriate buzzer. Anytime Max starts to talk about the
Nah.
stubby nozzle, we can just yeah. Here's one from Everyday Space Nerd. Do we think the interstage, aka the hot stage ring, will survive the first flight? Well, second flight, but whatever. Do we think the interstage will survive? Do you think the booster will survive? Kind of hard to say.
I've gone on record
I'm gonna
saying
say-
I expect the explosion.
Yep, Alex.
I've said before that as long as the ship, like if the separation occurs and then the booster explodes, I don't care if the ship goes on. Fine with me if the booster explodes. I tend to joke about that.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Super
But
heavy
do you
boosters
think it
can
will
handle
happen?
explosion as the street. I wish
Come on.
it doesn't. Okay, it might explode.
Say it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
We're all on the record now.
Oh, God.
Yep. Oklahoma Chicken Cam
Hmm?
raises some questions in my mind. Why would you? Anyways, interesting name. They're asking any idea on how Raptor version 3 is going. I mean, you can watch McGregor live and see them testing Raptors. They don't like call out before they test one like this is a Raptor 3, but they seem to have been, testing away, maybe a little bit slower cadence than previously. Maybe that's just up to they have a whole bunch of Raptors, so they don't need to do quite as much acceptance testing. But surely they're working on it. But we haven't gotten any like Elon tweets or anything like that. Adrian, go.
It's also, I think, a kind of misconception sometimes how SpaceX does blogs, because it's not like they are doing everything the same for a long time, and then suddenly they change everything, and it's the new version. What they also tend to do is basically develop their way to the next version, and change small bits and pieces there and there, and at some point, they then call it the new infrastructure, maybe do some other more significant change. But it's not like every Raptor is Raptor version 2 until suddenly it's Raptor version 3. They're probably doing 2.1, 2.2, 2.3 on the way, and changing all their way to 3. And at some point, they arrive then at 3. That's usually how SpaceX does these things. It's not that clean of cut always.
I have some
thought
breaking news.
SpaceX. Ooh, breaking news?
Breaking news. This is really important. The poll is complete. I'm very proud of you, chat. I'm very, very proud of you. The results of the poll: Starhopper 60%, Hoppy 23%, Hopper 16%. So canonically, for NSF, the name is Starhopper. I have spoken. Stream over. Good night, everybody. No, we're still going. Anyways, moving on.
This
Alex,
is
what
like
were you
half
gonna,
an hour more.
were you gonna make an actually
I
valid
don't know,
point,
man.
Alex? Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I think I was going to joke that SpaceX doesn't know how to count, so it's not going to be from 2 to 3. It's probably going to be like 7.1 and then 13 point whatever, and then it's going to be V3, because that's how it works, right?
Throw it
Yeah, because
throw a testing in there
SpaceX
for
is
good measure.
Tonight
Right.
we have Starlink Group 6-12 after 6:13. So like no, they. Anyways, long rant that
Yeah.
I could make about this.
Yeah, so just to tie a bow on all that, they incrementally will be tweaking things on Raptors, and they'll work their way up to Raptor V3. My question, and also Cookie Productions' question, we got some fun names in chat today. Cookie Productions is asking, how long do you think it'll be until we have Raptor V3 replacing V2? And here's the thing. When they went from Raptor 1 and 1.5 to Raptor 2, the actual hardware side, like on the ship and booster, changed. There were differences to the interface between the booster and the ship that meant that you can't put a Raptor 2 on a booster or ship that's designed for Raptor 1 or 1.5. That's why Booster 4 still has all of its engines and won't be a flight article, because it's using outdated Raptors. You can't put Raptor 2s on it. So my question is not so much how long until Raptor 3, but how, like, will Raptor 3 be a drop-in replacement for Raptor 2? Or will it necessitate hardware changes to the vehicles? We don't know at this point. Alex, go.
I will say I would expect at least some changes to the vehicle's structures, because you're talking about going from 230 to 270 something tons of thrust. So even for the ship, you will be having a lot of thrust in that engine section, right? And not only the dome, but also the what's this? Okay. Oh, now I know.
It's the Raptor factory, and it's Ryan. Hi, Ryan.
Yeah.
Hi, Ryan.
It was like, yeah.
Yeah, this is the Life of a
we got
Raptor
that one.
video. So if you want to see more about Raptors and more how they're tested and worked on over at McGregor, and just how they go from, being built in Hawthorne, tested at McGregor, installed on vehicles here in Starbase, and then flown, this is a really, really, really great video talking about all of that. So be sure to check that out. Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah. It's hard to really say at this point. I think if they do need to have a different, fixture on the vehicle that necessitates, obsoleting all Raptor V2 vehicles, who's to say when that'll be done? And another sort of wrinkle in all of this is, hey guys, when's the last time you remember seeing a dome flipped at Starbase?
Oh, that's...
Oh, wait.
I don't remember, because it always happens now on the
inside.
Someone go on the...
Yeah, it seems like they are doing these. They used to flip the domes outside, just right there. We even called it the flip yard for a little while, in between sort of the ground fab building and the tents. And yeah, it must all be happening inside at this point. So we haven't seen domes flipped, and that was one of the ways, when they would flip an aft section, and we could see all of the Raptor attach points. That was a way that we could, sort of discern what was going on. And in the absence of those visuals, it's really hard to say where we're at with V2 versus V3. Like if we saw a dome flipped and the attach points were all completely different, we could say, aha, ship 34 or whatever is going to be a Raptor 3 vehicle. But, tricky to do that now. And that's just the nature of Starbase and the ever-changing infrastructure down there. Let's see. We have a question from Joe asking about L2 lifetime. Adrian, what do we have to say about L2 lifetime?
Yeah, that's because we now see from time to time from the store it popping up here, and in this, so it's probably coming up more as a question. We have now the option in the store that you can subscribe to L2, which is our exclusive section in the forum where you can get access to all kinds of amazing content. Not only like shuttle content, but also modern SpaceX and other exclusive content we have there. And I really think it's
Basically
a
everything.
great place. Yes, it's basically everything. And it was actually my first contact to NSF, really. Like, that was the first thing I really started to consume from NSF, so I really love it.
Same.
And yes, we have L2 now in the store at shop.nasaspaceflight.com. We have different options, how long you can subscribe to L2. And one of the resubscribe options is a lifetime option, where you just pay like one final amount, and from there on out, you will be on L2 for the rest of your life. It's lifetime. And if you have any questions, if you have any questions about that, and you're like unsure about these options, or in general want to ask something about L2 and everything, make sure to DM Chris Bergen in the forum, because A, he likes to talk about L2, and B, he gladly will probably answer your questions. So if you like L2, and one important thing about the process here, because this is a template to make sure your forum account gets the L2 role. What you need to do for that is have an NSF forum account, and once you have that, put the name into the box. Don't put into the shop box something like, I don't have a forum account. That doesn't work. Make sure to say your name in the forum. So that's my short overview about L2 in the store. I think it's a great product. Shop.nasaspaceflight.com. And also, it's probably one of the coolest way to support us. Really, you get so much cool, nerdy space stuff in return.
Yeah, and just to be super clear, if you don't know what L2 is, like, NASA Spaceflight started out as a news website, right? The news website had a forum, still does, has a forum. The forum is entirely public, except for a section of the forum which is paid to access. That section of the forum is called L2. And that was also my first introduction to NSF, was being a little newbie photographer years and years and years and years ago on Reddit and whatnot, and seeing people say, oh, I saw this bit of information on NSF L2. And I was like, what's NSF L2? And then I signed up, and then years go by, and here we are. But yeah, that's what L2 is. It has a crazy amount of information from extremely wide variety of different companies, different people, insiders, outsiders, speculation. It's amazing. Definitely check out L2 if you are so inclined. It's a great way to support us. There's all kinds of ways to support us. We've got the merch store. We mentioned the metal prints a minute ago. If you are so inclined, you can head on over to the merch store and you can grab an L2 membership. You can grab some metal prints. You can grab the van getting hit by concrete. The metal prints are awesome. Always got to plug the metal prints because they look great. They're printed directly on metal. Don't need a frame or anything like that. You just hang them right on your wall. They come in a box. Hang it on your wall. Call it a day. The metal prints are awesome. There's the print I was talking about earlier. This is my shot of IFT1. And yeah, the cool thing about the metal prints, in addition to everything else, because you get to support us, but you also get something physical in return, is the metal prints. Whatever photographer shot that image gets a bit of the proceeds of the sale. So, if there's a particular photographer at NSF whose work you really like and you want their stuff on your wall, you can do that, and you can also be supporting them in some. Stop it! I don't like this. Stop it. There's also hoodies and the Retro Starbase.
Awesome.
Starbase.
Retro Starbase is so amazing.
I have had SpaceXers down here tell me that they like this design the most, and I can't really disagree. It's amazing, and you can get it in mug form and shirt form, yada yada yada. Buy merch. Buy our merch. That's the merch plug. I'm just gonna start yelling at I'm gonna be actively hostile towards our audience. Anyways,
please don't.
The coffee's kicking in. Can you tell?
You got everyone out.
Right. Stephen Fernandes, thank you for gifting 5 Red Team memberships, and Chrome Penguin, love that name. They say is ready to launch. I think I'm supposed to read that as Chrome Penguin is ready to launch, which we're getting there. We're getting close. All right, let's do some more Starship questions. Yes. Bastian is asking, when do we see a different or non-Starlink flight-capable ship? That would be, I guess, an HLS ship or a Starship with a payload bay that had a slightly different door than is capable for Starlinks. When do we think we'll see something like that? I mean, argue. What do we have?
Okay, that
good
caught
job.
me by surprise.
Song.
Good job, Kevin. That was well done. All right, you two have to fight now. Go.
You go first.
Okay, I'm gonna say it has to be 2024 if HLS will have any chance to make it in any reasonable timeline, because they need tanker, which would be another variant, or they would need a depot, which would be another variant, and so I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 2024. Otherwise, the Artemis program has probably some significant schedule problems. You go, Alex.
Okay, but it's about when do we see? Okay, because so that doesn't include payload. But what about payloads? Because I haven't seen them work on any other kind of payload bay other than for Starlink, which it's like, huh? When are you gonna launch anything other than a Starlink and not, fuel or people or something? Like I just don't see them. Even though Starship can, like the payload environment, it's like really big inside of that nose cone. I just haven't seen them working on all that stuff. So it's like, when is that gonna be? I don't think we're gonna see that at least until 2025. Now HLS, I do hope at least it's gonna be next year. Otherwise, that landing is not gonna happen anytime soon. But yeah, let's cross our fingers that it does happen.
There we go.
With Adrian, I'm going to say 2024. And we have a poll in chat. Fight. Who won? I'm going to say Adrian. Sorry, Alex. Oh, Alex is winning.
It's
Obviously, I'm gonna vote for myself.
I want to compliment Kevin here. That was quick reaction here.
Solid. I'm surprised I didn't see more reaction in chat. Let's see here. Let's do some more questions. Mark is asking, when do we think they might catch the booster? I'm also going to say 2024. That's probably hopelessly optimistic. But yeah, probably like end of 2024, they'll start catching these puppies, hopefully. I don't know. Adrian, go.
2024. I agree. I will say they try to they will try to do it next year. And also, this poll is so close. I love it.
Right. Alex, go.
I do think it's probably likely. Yeah, 2024. Are we all gonna agree here? Come on. Someone say something different.
We can agree with each other. That's allowed.
Is it really?
Yeah, sure. We don't always have to be like tribalist for fun. Although Stubby Nozzle Bad Worm best logo and Starhopper best name. Anyways, moving on.
2 of 3, I agree. 2 of 3, I overall agree with you here.
Let's see. We had a question I wanted to hit here. Let me see if I can find it. Once again, I'm just like drowning in questions. I apologize.
That's good.
Somebody vamp. Go. Talk about something.
Yeah, I have hard feelings about the orbital tank farm being this way because I got nothing. I usually have like some sort of ramble I can.
Well, we're talking about future stuff.
All right, I got it. We're good.
They should.
Sorry, Alex.
They should have LEDs on the tower. There you go. They should have LEDs on the tower.
False. False. They should shut all the lights off for 30 minutes once a month so that we can get some really cool star trails and Milky Way stuff. That's what they should do.
I also
we have.
I mean, we can have both, right? Can we go down the rabbit hole of LED tower? There was this cool concept at some point, and so everybody that is on this call right now has heard me going about this at some point. So I want to bring it up again. I think a cool LED that shows the countdown and fueling state on the tower would be amazing, and I want that.
Sure.
That's all.
You are truly a PC
by
user.
their both reactions that this is not the first time we have talked about this. It's just the first time on air.
Style kind of tower with lights and everything and pulsing.
Oh, we have some breaking updates. We had somebody sign up for L2. They didn't listen to Adrian and have a forum account before they signed up for the Step one to getting an L2 sub. Make a forum account so you have a username. Then when you go to the shop and you sign up for L2, then you enter that username. It's not the end of the world if you don't, but you sure will make Adrian happy. And we all like making Adrian happy. Okay, question here. Ross is asking, what is the purpose of the white booster stands recently built at the Sanchez site? So, there are 4 stands that have been built at the Sanchez site. There are 2 white ones, there are 2 black ones. One of the white ones over the last week was rolled out of Sanchez and rolled over to Mega Bay 1. So, that is basically what we know at this point. Everything beyond that, I think, is sort of questionable. I mean, clearly it's going to be used with boosters. You can see the little booster hold downs there on the ring. They moved it to the Mega Bay, which is where they build boosters. So at least this one white ring will be used with the boosters in the Mega Bay. Doing exactly what? Hard to say until we see it done. Alex, did you have a thought? You look like you have a thought.
I was gonna say there might be pieces of chess, like, because it's black and white. I don't have any idea.
Okay,
what
I'm
they
gonna
are.
mute Alex. Moving right along, Adrian, do you have thoughts?
Yes, I think it might be very much like probably related to Raptor installation. I mean, it's not that outlandish of an idea that it's involving Raptor installation, because where else would you place such a ring, right? You would not place it on the middle of the vehicle. It would probably be below the vehicle. So if you have something below the vehicle, it's likely working on some sort of job at the aft section of the vehicle, and that's where the Raptors are. And we know that installing Raptors can be a bit complicated. So yeah, making sure that that maybe they have a better access to that, or it's in any way related, might be a good idea. So my money is on Raptors right now. That's my prediction. Jack, what do you think?
What do I think?
Yes.
I mean, I think you're wrong way. I think you're wrong, and the reasons you're wrong are I don't know. Raptors seems like a fair guess. I think we broke Alex though. We're giving him a little of a break while we argue. I don't have any strong.
Yeah,
I don't have any
I'm
strong
still laughing here.
opinions. I mean, yeah, Raptor installation would make sense. Some kind of new turntable system, or some kind of new transport mount. I mean, I've got nothing. I tend to refrain from speculating unless I have like a reasonable alternate guess. So I'm gonna agree with you. It's a lame fight mode, I know, but we have another poll. Who won? I'm gonna say Adrian.
Usually
Taking a
let
vote on
Alex.
this one. Why vote?
Usually let Alex or me write the script for SBU, and we take on the funny speculation part, right? So
yeah. Speaking of, we'll do a little teaser for tomorrow's Starbase update. The reason it is the way that it is, it's because of Adrian. So
yeah,
if you like tomorrow's Starbase update, thank Adrian. If you don't like tomorrow's Starbase update, yell at Adrian. But you'll have to wait till tomorrow to watch that and see
You can
what
also
I'm talking
yell at
about.
me, because I could have also written it instead, but I didn't.
Yeah, but I mean this week. I mean this week.
yeah.
Yeah, but
Okay,
if,
cool.
if it wasn't
But-
Adrian,
but-
it would have been me. So
Shoutouts, by the way, to like in general. I know I'm hijacking this, but like shoutouts to everybody involving in SPU, because it's really a cool process, and it's also a very time sensitive process, because we want to
hi Ryan.
use in a quick way, and like Ryan and Patrick always have to edit it, and and Ryan have to record it, and Alex and I have to write the script, and like there's a very step-by-step process here, and it's a fun process. Can sometimes be stressful, and I want to shout out everybody involved in that, because it's such a cool project to do every week.
Absolutely. It
So
takes a
props
whole team
to
of people to
Jack.
get this stuff done every week.
Because this man right here, he's sunburned, and like half of it is probably just recording Starbase update.
Yeah, you can't see the back of my head right now, but the way we were filming, the sun was behind me this week, and I can just feel the crispiness.
You can turn around.
And
Turn
no,
around.
and let me tell you, shaving a bald head when it's sunburned, really great. Feels great. All right. Anyways, let's pretend we have some rails here and get back on them. Here's one from SpaceX Gamer. Why does the pad deluge keep going on for minutes after liftoff while it doesn't really have to? I mean, cooling things that might be really hot. I think also just the way that the system works, they build up a large amount of water. They build up a lot of pressure behind it, and then they just let it go. But yeah, I don't really. Maybe we have a video on the deluge coming up this week. I don't know. Maybe you should watch that. Adrian, go.
Also,
well, we actually
also
don't
I want to
tackle
point
that,
out.
but okay.
I want to point out. Imagine having a high pressure flow and then trying to interrupt that with any sort of like break. It's. I know Jack's probably having like an opinion about this, but usually it's not a great idea for the hardware, and also for these kinds of systems, you don't lose that much if you run it too long. You only lose some nitrogen and some water. That's like in the overall scheme, they're like that's nothing. So why not let it run a bit longer, not risk any hardware, not risk anything breaking, and just let the pressure out.
Kawhi or Kiwi in chat says water hammer is a bad idea, and Paul Kelly says water hammer is a thing. Yeah, if you want to learn more about water hammers, go check out Practical Engineering. He has a really good video on water hammers. Friend of the channel, Grady Hillhouse. What's up, Grady? Okay, let's do some more questions. Philip is saying, give me 3 concrete items that have not been done that make the 8th not likely. You cannot use FAA, ship rollout, or wet dress rehearsal. Ow.
That's like the main 3.
Yeah, that is really the main 3. Let's see. Let's try to unpack this. What else is there? FTS? I mean, that doesn't take a week, but it does take time. And we've seen them working on Booster 9's FTS, but that does not mean charges are installed, because if charges were installed, it'd be a hazard area and they wouldn't allow people around there. Alex, what do you want, Alex? Go.
Can I go around that question and say that maybe not a wet dress, but maybe a cryo?
That's a bad answer. Moving on.
No, it's going around. I'm not saying any of those 3 things.
You're technically
It's
correct,
allowed.
which is
you're
technically correct,
also
which is the best kind of correct. Go ahead, Adrian.
I was about to be snarky and say full stack, because that's also not mentioned in the question. It just said rollout. But no, I think yes, these are the main 3 things. Like, if these 3 things would be there, would the 8 be likely? Yes. But the fact is, they are still there. We still don't have an FTS installed. We still don't have a full stack. We probably lack some testing. Will they, if I don't think attempts starting on the, for example, 11th or the 18th in the beginning of the weeks is unrealistic. If you would tell me, hey, they're starting on, I don't know, the 14th with attempts, I would be like, yeah, sure. The 8th is maybe cutting it close by like 2 or 3 days. That's my overall impressions of this.
SpaceX has not reached out to media to accredit it for remote or launch viewing, which by at this point in the flow for Ship 24 and Booster 7, they had. So that's one thing that hasn't happened, is media has not been told, hey, we're going to launch in the next month or so, which that could happen any day now. That could happen tomorrow for all we know. Let's see here. But that's a good question. And sort of in the same vein, James is asking, how long do you think until we get a full stack? I'm going to say sometime this week.
Yes.
Alex?
Yeah, next week.
Good deal. Well, it's Sunday, so this week.
Okay, that's a funny thing that I noticed with Americans versus Europeans, but a lot of European countries tend to start their week at Monday, I feel like. Because when
Monday,
you all
yeah.
start a week on Sunday, and like, yo, this week, I'm like, well, but we are on the last
this
day
like
of the week.
Europeans
The week starts
versus-
on Monday. Yeah, like,
Ding ding again. Another fight mode with the
No,
American.
no. Look, we got 3 minutes. No, come on. It doesn't work. That doesn't work.
No,
We
we're
have the
actually
same
in this
opinion.
together, Kevin. No, yeah. This is like High School Musical. We're all in this together. Yeah.
Cool deal.
Oh,
Let's
there you
see.
go.
I don't like that the week starts on Sunday, but the week starts on Sunday. I mean, the first day of the week to me is definitely Monday, but I didn't make the rules. I just play by them.
It's called the weekend, not the week start.
Okay. Yeah. I sure. You beat me.
Saying.
That's rare.
Can we get
That's
a poll
rare.
about this? Can we get a poll? When does the week start?
All
Monday
right.
or Sunday?
We have a limited time left, so let's speed run some stuff. I want to thank everybody here. Check 2, thank you for the super chat. They say, Alex, when should we see the Capes in Florida launch tower and first flights be ready and testing? This is a question just for you, Alex. And no weaseling around and saying nah, because you never like to answer these date questions.
Yeah,
Just
these are the worst questions.
Just say a date. Where no one's going to hold you to it. Just say a date really quickly, and we can move on to the next question. Ready, go. 5,
October 26th at 7:25
2,
p.m. Whatever.
1. What
I
year?
just said 7:25 because it's the next year, 2024. There you
Okay,
go. Whatever.
Cool. Moving on. Shortest Alex answer ever. Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say... Jesus, Alex. Musical Wolves, thank you for the support. They say April 2026, Starship will launch from Mars. That's awfully optimistic. Anonymous, thank you for the support. Getting something from the store there. They say if the pad survives IFT2, when do you think IFT3 will be? Almost certainly before the end of the year. Hey, look, someone got an L2 membership. Oh, that was the Anonymous. Thank you. Yeah, I think IFT almost certainly before the end of the year, pending Launchpad not getting nuked. Adrian, go. And Alex, prepare a short answer while Adrian is talking. Adrian, go.
Yeah, if the pad is not nuked, I don't see any way that it won't be this year. That's my short answer. They probably will target around end October, early November, something in there.
Alex, go. 5, 4,
December.
3, 2. Cool.
Look, if it's my
Moving on.
birthday, December 13th, I will be very awesome. That will be very amazing.
All right.
December
Alex
13th.
just casually doxing himself. Jeff, grabbing something from the store. Thank you so much. They say, for all you do, NSF, always the best part of my day, aside from playing KSP, of course. Here's a pro tip. Play KSP while you watch our streams. Yeah? Also, another L2 membership. Thank you.
Another pro tip, if you're an NSF commentator, don't play KSP during the streams, because you need to focus on the streams.
I have never done that.
Yeah, never a thing. No.
You know
man.
You know that Discord's
I'm
on the
super
right shows if
professional.
you have a game open, right?
Not if you make yourself invisible on Steam, a friend told me. I certainly wouldn't take advantage of that ever.
Not me either.
But yeah, also pro tip in speaking of playing KSP and NSF stuff, if you are so inclined and you are a Capcom member, in the members Discord there is a gaming channel, and the KSP talk in there, it used to start out as a KSP channel, and we just sort of made it all gaming, but the amazing horrible creations that people make in KSP, specifically Moldy Space, what's up Moldy, you're the best person ever, it's super fun. So if you're a member and you're part of the Discord, check out the gaming channel and post your KSP creations in there, because that's always a hoot. Jeff Rowe, thanks for the support, gifting Red Team membership. Spock X, live long and prosper, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. Liam, thank you for the store purchase there. They say LED progress bar on the tower /OLM. What a fantastic idea. There you go. That's for you, Adrian. Willie, thank you for the support. They say, keep up the good work, guys. And Bideford, thank you so much, Bideford, for the very generous super chat and the kind words, saying best design is Retro and best photographer is Jack. I can neither confirm or deny. I'm absolutely not. So I will deny, I guess. And they say best hosts are all NSF staff. Bideford, you're too sweet. Thank you so much. All right, well, we're running out of time here. I'm going to look for like one or two more questions so we can wrap this up with a nice little bow. Here we go. Oh, no, wait, I don't like that one. Questions. It's like something, gotta look for a good one, because, we're wrapping up. I mean, here's one. Starship 25 is asking, do you ever think there will be a high-altitude flight with boosters, just like Starship a few years ago, like tests for catching a booster in the future? No.
Oh.
All right. Next question. Alun is very astute. They're saying, what is being built next to the suborbital tank farm? I see some concrete walls being built up. Yeah, so for the last couple of weeks now, they've been trucking in a lot of dirt and filling out their property line there at the suborbital tank farm. And now they're putting up a little retaining wall, similar to the retaining wall they put up around the orbital pad for the LOX pond and the retention pond for water. So it doesn't look like it's going to be anything super major, knock on wood. I don't have any wood nearby to knock on. I'll just knock on drywall. But yeah, it just seems like they're expanding the area around the suborbital pads. What for? Can't really say at the moment, but we'll just have to keep our eyes open and find out. All right. Man, last question here. Do we think that Starship will make it to orbit?
God. Oh, no.
Oh, man.
I can already tell you, it's not going to go to orbit.
It's not there. Like we are on the same page.
See,
here. It's
this
not going
this
to
cannot be
orbit.
this can. Yeah.
Okay, how about
cannot be a
orbit with
fight,
the
I
air
agree.
quotes? Like orbit.
No,
You
cannot.
No,
you cannot
like
put-
it's not gonna.
We are literally the most two literal people at NSF that are taking such things by like the facts are here and reality is here. So it's not going to orbit.
I said before.
Unless
that. Go ahead.
Unless there's a major and once in a lifetime very weird trajectory change suddenly, and Starship just decides to yeet. Starship, the next flight will not make it to orbit.
But do you think, let's rephrase, do you think IFT2 will fulfill all its objectives up to, let's say, re-entry? Let's take re-entry off the table because we've all seen the tiles and we all, I think, agree that re-entry at this point is sort of a secondary data gathering type objective, see what happens. But do we think the IFT2 stack will get that far? I say yes. But booster rud on stage step. Alex?
Haven't we done this question again? What?
Just go. Like, you have 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3.
It's gonna explode
2.
on stage separation. There you go.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Well, thank you so much to everyone. I've never really really pushed you before, and I'm discovering that I really enjoy it. So, Chris W, thank you for gifting a Red Team membership. And also, before we end, I do want to say we have Starlink launch coming up tonight. We will be streaming it, so make sure you tune in for that. That's going to be a good one.
And from 39A.
Thank you. Yep, the rare.
I love it.
Well, slightly increasingly rare Starlink from 39A. But yeah, thank you so much to all of our flight engineers and launch directors, the 2 higher end tiers of our membership program. Y'all are absolutely amazing. Just want to say thank you to you guys so much for that. And of course, thank you to Adrian. Oh, I always do it wrong. Adrian and Alex, Thank you both
I
of
gotta
you.
remember it.
Yeah, I know. And of course, I'm Jack. You all know me, guy with the beard, bacon, etc. But yeah, that's this week's episode of NSF Live. Once again, thank you so much to all of our flight engineers and launch directors. Can we show the thing? Oh, and thank you to Kevin for being awesome and hilarious and running the stream.
Yeah, enduring us.
Enduring the chaos. But yes,
And for the
once
bell,
again, thank
someone
you.
says in chat.
Thank you, launch directors. Thank you, flight engineers. Thank you, everyone who grabbed something from the store. Thanks for watching. That's it for this week. We'll see you next week. And don't forget, bacon.
And here we go.
We have liftoff.
Propulsion continues to be normal.
R68 chamber pressure looks good.
Rolling up. Roger, Atlantic.
Water towers fly! Yes! Echo down to nominal.
Fighting downside SC off. Bring in SC off. It's orange! 145! Oh my god! Oh my god! Decollage! What is it? Put that in the big bag,
343 unfolds to go.
Indeed.
We rise together back to the moon and beyond.
This methane would be igniting the flare, correct?
Yikes. You read? Sure. We don't need any more of these.